Hello and namaste, and let's try to understand another very interesting remedy today. And you know, very often in our practice, many complex cases we see, and we give the well known polycrust remedies, of course, the sulfur, the lycopodium, the pulsatilas, the lachesis, the lacanina. But in our practice, what we also see is sometimes these remedies are not helping, and we have to think out of box. We have to uncover newer remedies. We have to understand patterns of newer remedies because patterns are also changing of patients. So I think it's very important to keep evolving, and I think it's important to master the foundations and basics and knowing it really well, and also know the newer ideas. So one such remedy I'm going to discuss with you today is a remedy, lac lupinum, wolf's milk. And there's been provings which have been done by Nancy Herrick and Melissa Asselin. There's a very nice book by Nancy Herrick. Animal Mind, Human Bodies. Very interesting. I hope you find this book sometime. So let's understand lac lupinum. But before we talk about lac lupinum, it's also good always to know about lac remedies and mammal remedies. And you know the most famous homeopathic remedy in lac group we have is lac caninum. You know, lac defloratum we have. Both are very, very well known, and we use a lot. In fact, Master Kent has written about this in probably the second or the third paragraph in his Materia Medica, that a lac group of remedies are going to be remedies for the future. And if we can understand newer remedies like milk from monkeys, milk from cows, milk from all different animals, it's going to help us to help our patients. He's written about this. You can read it in his Materia Medica. So he was a great man. He was a legend. If he has said something, it makes and that's why we need to read the provings. So let's try to understand a little bit about lac lupinum, the wolf. One of the main themes which I want to tell you about lac lupinum is the theme of gypsies. You understand gypsies, huh? So wolves are like gypsies of the animal kingdom. They wander, they are here, they are there. They go long distances without deep connections, and there's a feeling as if they are displaced. And actually we have displaced them. The human beings have. The most dangerous species of animal is human beings, yeah. So this displaced is a very important theme that came in the proving by Melissa, that she has written a lot about. This is very interesting. One of the couple of rubrics which I'm going to tell you is delusion, suffering woman conscious of through ages. Delusion, women are murdered by men and she's a victim. So there's a lot of feeling in these remedies of women being abused, dominated by men. This is very, very strong theme here. It's very interesting. The famous fable of the Little Red Riding Hood. You all know this very, very interesting story. Yeah? So one of the biggest themes of this remedy, lac lupinum, and it will have all symptoms like lac caninum. Huh? The feeling of inferiority, the feeling of symptoms before menses, the delusion of snakes, the reactions to milk, the feeling of dirtiness. This is all common themes of mammal remedies. But what will you see in reality about lac lupinum is more and more a feeling of outsider, more and more feeling of an intruder, more and more feeling of being displaced. So you will see a lot of feeling, almost as if, feeling of I'm leprous, I've been kind of separated, I've been removed from the group. This is very strong. for lac lupinum, this theme. So there are some interesting rubrics. Delusion, she is a victim. Delusion, she does not belong to her family. Delusion, he's an intruder. Delusion, looked down upon. Very interesting. Interestingly, Melissa writes that the lac lupinum, which was used for the proving, she sourced the milk from a wild-born wolf. Very interesting. Wasn't a circus-born wolf, was a wild-born. So they are wild hippies. Again, cannot be dominated. One of the themes again in the provings was in a way socially isolated. This isolation, and that's why it reminds you a lot of leprous remedies, like lepromenum or like hura, magnesium carb, sickle core, remedies of that direction. You will see a lot of them. So there's a lot of you will often see a lot of their patterns come up when there's been a lot of kind of feeling of abandonment, and there's almost a feeling as if they've been suffering through ages, through different generations. So there is some rubrics. Delusion, suffering of women conscious through ages. So this is a lot in this woman. Of course, you will also see in lac lupinum the feeling as if they are by nature very alert, very fast, very sharp, also a little tubercular at times, very independent. But probably somewhere, you will see this with a lot of writings of really great homeopaths about lac lupinum, that they have somewhere developed an aversion towards male. So like in medorinum or pulsatilla, there's a rubric, marriage idea seems unendurable. You will see that in the repertory. Has lachesis, medorinum, I think pulsatilla, maybe one or two other remedies. In this remedy, lac lupinum, there's almost a feeling of strong aversion to anything which is male, rational, or male, masculine type of thinking. And it's almost as if, they want to get rid of this. They don't want to get into anything masculine. They almost get into a community-like state for feminism, that it's a different kind of state. And they develop themselves into, you'll find them doing a lot of physical activity. So they have a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina, a lot of capacity. And of course they will come across as someone who is very affectionate, and because you understand, when you understand lac lupinum and you understand wolf and you understand the social structure of wolves, it's interesting to connect the kind of source is that wolves live in packs, and there is a alpha male who has to run through the ranks to be on the top. And then once they are at the top, all the other wolves listen to them and they together attack in a pack. That's why they're called pack of wolves. There is an alpha wolf, there is a beta wolf, and they generally attack at the weakness of other wolves. This is very typical of the lac lupinum. It's a very interesting remedy. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to study in this remedies and their provings, and I always like to study provings and understand the patterns, because so many patients are requiring these different remedies and making a difference. And I would love to know from you also how you are seeing it, and would love to learn from all of you. Write to me sometime. Thank you.